So one example of a company that I actually invested in that had meaning for me was Netflix. And Netflix was a company that I have actually been a customer of since probably 2000, 2001. And that's dating me a little bit, but 2001, all they made was physical hard disks. And you would go out on their website and you would set up your queue. And when you sent the next one back, they sent you the next one on your queue. And it was a physical CD, and you played the movie and loved it. And so I've been a customer for a very long time. And then I kind of consider myself a movie buff. And so I had a lot of interest and passion here. And then when we saw that the stock price actually dropped back in late 2021, early 2022, I was excited because here we have a potential opportunity to learn more about the company. And I actually spent some time reading about the business. And the first place I started was the Rule 1 Toolbox. I went back in, just did the company brief. It gives you a very brief description of what they do, how they make money. And then from there, from the toolbox, you can actually go to the investor relations site and go to a 10K, which is a document that tells you everything about the business. Started reading the business section, made sure that I still understood the business. Obviously, a lot had changed since I was first a customer. They weren't doing physical CDs anymore, but they were doing streaming. Obviously, I knew that already. But there was a subscription-based model, and I felt really comfortable that I understood. It was a very relatively simple business. Had a simple distribution system, simple subscription-based model, and they made content, and they had the biggest content library in the world. Then what I did is I was reading those current 10Ks. I actually moved myself back in time so that I could see how the business progressed to really understand the journey that it had been on. And one of the interesting facts that I learned is that in 2007, 2008, during the financial crisis, even though this was still a growing business, they actually went through that whole period of time with very few financial hiccups, right? And so it told me right away that here's a very resilient business that's continuing to grow subscribers, and during really difficult financial times, they've performed very, very well. And so once I was able to get to that hurdle and feel comfortable that we had a business I was capable of understanding, and then two, that I still had passion about, I was still a customer of, I started talking to other people and just asking them, what streaming subscriptions do you have? And almost everybody listed Netflix and Disney, a couple other companies. And then I asked the question, if you could only have one, which one would you have? And almost everybody would say Netflix, right? And then the next question is why? Well, they have the largest library of content. It gives you the most options. So if you had to pick one, most people fell back on, this is the one option that gives me the best viewing choices over a wide range of content. And at that stage, I was pretty convinced that I understood the business and that I felt like I understood it well enough that it could be resilient in a recession, it could be resilient in inflation, and long term, it was going to continue to be successful.